you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Welcome back to another Project Life process video. So this is the first Project Life spread that I'm doing after December daily. So I didn't do any of December and I'm just finishing up. I think I have 4 or 5 weeks. I think it's 4 weeks left. This is week 48 and it goes to 52. And what I've done here is I went ahead and I printed all of my photos for the month and I've stuck them in the sleeve. So the next few layouts, you're not going to be seeing me actually place the photos because I already did that one evening just when I had some time. I just threw them in. I actually printed these at Costco just because I thought it would definitely save me some money. And one of the main reasons why I'm printing at home, other than I love the quality, is so that I can work on my spreads on a weekly basis. So I decided, since I had just a ton of photos, that I would just do it right from Costco. So let me just show you what I have in front of me, because I had actually considered maybe not even filming these weeks and just getting them done just because of time, but I decided to do that. A few things that I have here. I have the photos that I'm going to use. I went ahead and I looked through Studio Calico's December kit and I just pulled out a couple cards. Actually, this one came from Allie Edwards, her the new subscription that she's doing, the month-by-month subscription. I'm not entirely sure what that's called, but this is from January and those two came from that. So I kind of pulled those out. This one came from the Studio Calico December, and then this one, I don't know, this one just came from my stash. I know it's a Studio Calico, but I can't remember. I'm thinking it came from September just because it has a 9 there. Considering maybe I don't know, fill that in with an embellishment or something. And then this also came in the December kit. These are designed by Jasmine Jones, and I just thought these were really cute. I thought that they look like stickers, so I thought that I could take them off, put them on right onto the photo, and then just write a little bit of journaling. So I'm planning on using those, just kind of spreading those out, you know, using them kind of as repetition. And then I have this grocery list that my daughter made. I actually thought about putting it in my December daily, but it never ended up getting there, so I thought that I would just put it in a page protector. I probably won't do anything more than just put it in a page protector, but I love having these little bits and pieces of life. So I'm just gonna set that aside. And then these stars, it's funny, I kept seeing these stars on Instagram and I'm like, I have not seen these stars, and it's because I actually never went through the December kit because I was just working on my December daily with the December daily products. So it will be fun to be able to work with these. I think this is really cool. Kind of wish I had them for December daily, but if I have some left over, I'll definitely put them in my December daily stash. It's a great color red. All right, you guys, let's just go ahead and get started with the layout. All right, guys, just jumping in. The first thing that I'm going to work on is my title card. You can see that my title card is actually a photo. That's something that I took, and if you watched any of my December daily videos, you'll notice that is, I don't know if it's the exact same photo or just a similar photo. The one I used in my album was portrait style, so I don't know if I turned it on its side or if it was just another photo that I took, because I did take several photos. But it's fun to be able to use your own photo for the title card instead of you know, using just a card that came in a kit or something like that. So I pulled over these stars that I hadn't used. These came from an Allie Edwards kit. They're kind of a plasticky heart. So I pulled out my Stazon ink to use with right on there, because I thought that the Stazon would be better than any other kind of ink. The other ink I didn't think would really dry well. Stazon dries really well on these slick surfaces. It turns out that I couldn't remember if I didn't really like what it looked like, or I wanted to put one of those starburst, those like wood veneer starburst that you can see there. And so it just wasn't working out. And for whatever reason, instead of trying to make it work with the white star, I just went ahead and put it right into the center and added the date on there. I also used Stazon ink for that as well, because these photos that came from Costco were a little bit more slick. All right, so I just want to take a minute and explain this card to you since I failed to in the beginning. This is something I created using a stencil and the deco foil transfer gel. I used it right onto transparency. I actually did this for my December daily title page for 2017. I will link the video below that will show you exactly how to do it. It's really easy, but I was excited to see that it actually worked on transparency as well as cardstock. That lighter green that you just saw, I actually created that with embossing paste, and that is white, so I just used some ink to turn it green. Anyway, I loved realizing that those would work with transparency and that this is something that I could potentially use in the future to create my own transparent elements in my project life. All right, so just right up front, I apologize that this video is blurry right now. It does get better in just a minute. Right now, I'm working on telling 3 different stories from the week. So I love cards like that that have little sections that you're able to tell then 3 micro stories from the week. So I was going to write my journaling here. I wasn't entirely sure what story I wanted to tell because I was looking at my photos and then I realized, you know what, it would be better for me to use these stickers and write out the stories that I wanted to write out, and then I would know what stories were left over that I could add to that card. So that's one of the reasons why I love being able to add little embellishments or cards or half circles on top of photos, because it allows me then to tell a little bit more about what's going on. Obviously, it's not telling the entire story, but it's just giving a little bit more information for that actual photo. I really like these stickers from Jasmine Jones, and I like that it came with 2 packages, so I could potentially use it on another day, or if I had made a mistake, I could have then used it again. That tends to happen sometimes, but I also really like the color, and the sentiments really could have gone with any week, and so I really like that. They were kind of a jumping off point as well for me and kind of helped me to be able to tell maybe even a different story than I thought about telling. One of them says listening to, and I think I end up using that on the photo at the bottom. And I just loved that. It made me think about what was I listening to when this photo was taken. So I love being able to tell it from that angle. So anyways, you saw that I was trying to take one of the stickers off. That's because when I saw the love it, I was like, oh, this would probably go better with this other photo. But just like what I was saying, you really can make these sentiments work for any card. And so I decided to leave it and keep that story intact, because why retell it? And that the other ones would be more than sufficient for the other photos. But anyway, I was able to take the sticker off no problem. I think it's probably because these photos were printed at Costco and they were a little bit more slick. The glossy print there is pretty slick, so it came off really easily without destroying anything. But just something to keep in mind. Really, like I said, those little sentiments would go really with anything, and I enjoyed so much that it was kind of a jumping off point for the photo and the story that I wanted to tell there. All right, so now I'm going to tell one more story. I think this one was about, I can't remember if this one was going to be about when my husband went to Milan, or if that was one of the micro stories that I told there. I feel like it's been now a few weeks in between, and it definitely more than a few weeks that I actually lived this week, so I'm not 100% sure. I believe this story that I'm telling here is all about my daughter and her cheer competitions that I was able to go to. It's really awesome to be able to see your kid do something that they absolutely loved. So the story that I wanted to tell wasn't really working with the yes. It actually was probably more of a no story. So I decided to grab this paper pad. This one came from Allie Edwards. It's Here's the Story. And here's the story about telling that story. So I wrote it all out, was great. I added the date. And then after I had it in my book and I was kind of flipping through some of the weeks prior, I realized I'd already told that story. So that's what happens when you've worked on something and you leave it for a month and then you come back to it. I'd forgotten that I had already told that story. So what I ended up doing later, I didn't realize until after I was completely done with the spread. But I just grabbed another card. You'll see it in the pictures, and added the chipboard. I think it was the busy chipboard that I added there, and kind of talked a little bit about how busy it is during the holiday season. So that is how I chose to change that just because I had already told that story. So I'm just trying to see if there's maybe another way to add a sticker to this spread. And ultimately I decide that enough is enough. I did, however, want to just add one more thing just to kind of round everything out. So I grabbed over my chipboard. I thought that I would add something to that transparency with all of those trees. So I'm looking through the transparency that came in the December kit and then the transparencies that came with the December daily. I picked out this one. I think it says these December days, which would go really with anything. And I really like the way it looked, and it just added a little bit more dimension. And so I thought that I would just go ahead and add that on there. You can see that I was still looking at maybe adding a little bit something more. I wanted something to stand out a little bit more, but I like that it had the pop of red that would go with all the other pops of red in the layout. All right, so that is week 48. I have 4 more to go before I am completely done with 2017. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate you, all of your comments and all of your kind words. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And if you like what you saw, I'd love it if you gave this video a thumbs up. All right, you guys, we will see you in the next one. Bye.